trying to calm her down. This is not happening.
Like, you're supposed to be helping me. But.
Right. Hello, what's going on? You're part of the A Game. I'm Rob Akinpora from my bunker in Bradley Beach. We are ready for another edition, and very happy to have this lady who got coaxed into this because she was helping some friends on my podcast about a month and a half ago. She was a willing participant or volunteer, I'm not sure which, but she's also an outstanding rock photographer with a great resume, which we'll get into. Estelle Massry, thank you for coming on board. Welcome, and thanks for bringing your A Game.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Before we even get started, this is the impressive part. I'm going to see how fast I can read this. Now, this is probably not her complete resume, but this is just an idea of the people that she has photographed in the last couple of years. And let me get started. Billy Joel, Metallica, Alice Cooper, Post Malone, Lenny Kravitz, REO Speedwagon, Cheap Trick, Katie Lang, Snoop Dogg from American Idol, Konstantin Maroulis, Extreme, Tesla, Chicago, Foreigner, ZZ Top, Mark Anthony, Switchfoot, Disturbed, Peter Frampton, members of Guns N' Roses and Bon Jovi, Michael Bublé, Rolling Stones, Goo Goo Dolls, Air Supply, and Slayer. And I can't believe I said Air Supply and Slayer back to back.
I know.
That's an impressive resume, though, my dear.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
To give everybody an idea, now photography is definitely, I think, a massive art form, and it takes a certain eye and a certain skill to do this. But it's also not an easy road to take. For you to get the credentials to take these shots of these incredible people, I mean, it probably was a long, painstaking process to get to the point where it's like, okay, here you go, Ms. Massry, here's your credentials, go do what you do well.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't happen like that.
Yeah, it's not handed to you on a silver platter. It's
not. I mean, it's a lot of networking, and it's really, it's all about the connection, you know, building trust with your clients. Yep. And you do a lot of shows for free. I mean, like, that's what you do to begin with.
I don't think people fully understand that. I think they think, oh my God, you're taking all these great photos. I mean, you must be making so much. No, I mean, you're kind of like everybody else, kind of going, I'm getting breaks, but I still want to try to make a little more money off my art, if I can say it that way. Yeah.
Right. I mean, listen, it's hard work. I mean, it's like late nights, you know, driving 4 or 5 hours to a show and then like driving back that same night and then getting the photos that night so they're ready for the next morning, you know, and, you know, at the beginning I wasn't getting paid for that. So like you're doing all of this work, you know, for free, like you're not getting paid.
Right.
And you could do that for like a year or two. You know, it pays off eventually, but it's not easy. I mean, it's a lot of work. I mean, like, I know like people would see like, you know, me being out and like, oh my God, you're having so much fun. Are you out partying? And it's like, yeah, it's fun. But, you know, they don't see like what it takes like to get there. Like, you know, the drive, you know, the hustling and then, you know, working on the computer, like from like 12 till 4 in the morning, trying to get the photos done. But then you feel so great afterwards. You know? And the photos will be the next client, you know? So yeah, so it's, I mean, it's, you know, it's been like 3 years, I guess. And then like, you know, afterwards and it started paying off and it, you just build a rapport with these artists and their managers and then, then they hire you and you get access to these shows. So yeah, eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing that stands out about you, Estelle, I think you have a very distinctive style with your photography. It's not always, you lean more toward black and white than color, although you do some color work.
Well, I'm venturing out a little bit into the color world, but yes, I always gravitate back to black and white. I don't know. I like the contrast and the shadows, and I like I don't know, the darkness, and I don't know, it just like it appeals to me. I don't know.
I think it really shows on a lot of photos, and some of them would be surprised. I managed to get a few of them. If we can start with photo number 1, because I think it just works perfectly. When you talk about James Hetfield of Metallica, it's like it pops. It really does pop. And for a band that had one of their songs going, "Darkness Imprisoning Me," absolute horror, it kind of just works for the style of Metallica.
I have to tell you about that show. So I almost missed it. I had to
Wow.
drive 5 hours
Oh,
to get there. Okay, but so I got the call the night before. I was shooting. Who was I shooting? Sebastian Bach, I think, at the Stone Pony. And I was
okay.
walking to the show, and then Madhouse Magazine texted me and said, "You have Metallica tomorrow night." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's really funny."
Yeah, you're thinking it's a joke at
I'm
first,
like,
right?
"Yeah, that's hilarious. You can't, joke with me about it. Metallica is like my number one band to shoot."
Okay.
So
Nice.
he's like, "No, I'm serious." And then he sent me the email. I didn't even look where it was, but I was like, "Oh my God, I have Metallica. So then I get home that night and I'm like, it's 5 hours away.
Wow.
But it's Metallica. So
Right.
I'm gonna do it. So I drove 5 hours in the rain, I remember. And I got there and I was supposed to be there I can't remember what time the show was going on, maybe 8 or 9. I got there, it was like 10 till, and I still had to find parking. It was raining. And if you're not there by that time, like you get escorted in, you're not shooting the show.
You're SOL, basically, yeah.
I'm like, I drove all this way to shoot my favorite band, and I'm going to miss it. I'm thinking, that's not happening.
You're
so
right.
I find a spot. I mean, I don't know. A spot just opened up. I'm like running in the rain in my heels. I'm stoked. I get there, and I'm like, I'm here to shoot Metallica. And she was getting ready to go in. Like 2 minutes later, I would have completely missed the show.
Would you say that's like one of the rare moments where you were like completely starstruck, knowing full well it's like, oh my God, it's Metallica. Oh my God.
Yes. So I walk in, but you're in the pit, but they're in the middle. So the pit is like all the way around the stage, which is
Right.
unusual. And I'm not that tall. So we weren't allowed to get in front of anyone. So I have all these tall guys like in front of me. So it was very challenging. It was a very challenging shoot. And I'm very lucky that I got that shot right there.
Yeah, it's a great shot. And by the way, a lot of these shots, her complete work is found at her website. It's EstelleMassry.com. We'll be plugging that a few more times throughout because if you're thinking about maybe a unique Christmas gift, because again, if you got a family member who's just a total diehard rock fan or a pop fan, whatever the case may be, Estelle's probably shot this person, and this would make a great thing to have framed. There's some great photos available. Estelle Massry here on the A Game. Now, this is the interesting part. I'm going to compare and contrast, where you take on one side of the equation Metallica, and guys, can we go to photo 19, I believe? And that would be Katie Lang, if I'm not mistaken. And that's the interesting part of it. When I saw this photo on your Instagram, I was like going, oh my God, it worked. It's just incredible because it's something where you sit there and you wouldn't think Katie Lang in this just dark silhouette, just standing there singing would work. And it just absolutely is just, it's a great photo. I mean, do you ever go into something where you sit there and say, am I out of my element with my style with a certain artist? Or you just say, you know what, if I can shoot one, I could shoot pretty much any artist and really make it come out great?
I mean, I never think that actually. I don't. I mean, I know that I can get the photo that I want with my style. I mean, I guess maybe I worry a little bit that it's not going to be their style, maybe. But I know I'm going to get something that I'm happy with. But so I do both. Like if I'm hired, obviously I'm going to shoot like the way I think that they want to be shot.
Sure.
I'm also going to do my style as well. So then I'll have both, right?
Right.
But for Katie Lang, I mean, I was flown out to San Antonio at like a beautiful theater, and I got to see her during rehearsals and during the actual show. So I had full access. I was the only photographer there. It was a really big deal. I mean, it was amazing. And she's such a pro. I mean, she is a professional.
Oh, no doubt.
A little bit intimidating, if I may add, like a little bit. Yes. But like, it was like one of the most amazing experiences. Yeah.
Was that part of that PBS special that she ran at that point? Yeah.
Yes.
Very familiar with that. Yeah.
Yes, it was on PBS. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal. That was a big event for PBS. I know it was part of their fundraising drive too. So, I mean, yeah, that was a really big time show that you were dealing with at that point. So
huge. Like they used all their photos for all, the promotions and on her DVD and CD. So that was pretty huge. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fun for me, yeah.
No, and again, you don't downplay that when you get that great opportunity where you sit there and kind of go, okay, you know what, this is a big time deal on the resume when you're getting that kind of exposure when it is PBS, when it is, part of the artwork of a CD release. I mean, come on, that has to be an incredible feeling.
It was. And I honestly didn't think I was going to get that because like a week prior to it, Dan Cotullo, who runs Landmarks Live, like he's like, I want you to send me your top 3 best photos. And we're looking for someone to shoot Katie Lang, but I have like hundreds of photographers who want to do it. And I'm thinking, okay, that's not happening. Right. But so I'm like totally not getting this. So like 2 days before the show, still nothing. And like, he's sending out emails about flights and stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm not getting my flight information. So I guess I'm not getting it. So the night before, I remember I was like with my kids in the car and I'm like, God, I'm like so stressed. Like it's the night before. Like I'm obviously don't have this. And my son's like, Mommy, you're the best photographer. Like you have this. So an hour later, Dan calls me. He's like, you're getting on a flight tomorrow, get your stuff ready. And I'm like, and I remember going home and I was crying. And I'm so glad like this happened with my kids. And my kids were like, what's wrong, Mommy? And I'm like, I worked so hard. Like I was chosen. Like I worked so hard and now it's paying off. So like I had this big talk, like follow your dreams, like never give up. So it was just it was a good moment with me and my kids. And but I doubted myself, but I got it. So I don't know how, but
it sounds like your kids are really supportive and they understand a little bit of the life because like you say, at a moment's notice, you can get something. And it's sort of that, in a weird way, you really can't say no because the opportunities when they happen, you really have to jump on them because they may not happen again.
Right. So that's been very challenging with young kids. Right.
Yeah.
So, right. And in this industry, everything is last minute and that things cancel last minute too. So you have to be ready. Yeah. You cannot say no. You say no, someone else is going to get it. And then you're going to miss your opportunity. Right. So I've learned that they're aware of, my career and they're supportive and they get very excited to know like who I'm shooting and to see the photos and everything. So I'm very lucky that, they understand and, they're supportive and, but it's hard, it's hard because you can't, you have to jump and go.
Yeah.
Last minute, and I never say no. So.
Since you're speaking of your kids, I want to pull up, guys, photo number 8 because this happens to be a woman who's celebrating a birthday, but I also believe your kids, this is one of the first artists that they got to meet. Is that true? Nita Strauss, who plays with Alice Cooper.
She plays with Alice Cooper, and I believe it was it last? Yeah, it was last year. And I wanted my kids to have like their best experience for their first concert. Right. So she got us, backstage passes afterwards. So we sat like in the very front row. And then we got to meet like the whole band and, the kids got to take pictures with them and they were just like, this is cool. But I'm like, this is how every show is, right? Like if you're going to a concert, like this is not normal, right?
Right.
But
let's preface this.
Yeah. So maybe I shouldn't have done that because now I set the bar a little high for them. But.
Well, you know what? And it was really cool that you mentioned your kids because if you did, I was going to pull the photo up. Plus, I do know Nita is celebrating a birthday, so she's watching.
Yeah.
Very happy birthday, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, she's wonderful. I mean, Alex Cooper and his whole band, I mean, they're just the most amazing and talented artists. I mean, they're just the nicest people.
Nice
I've been so lucky, to shoot them and get to know them. Yeah.
This is Estelle Massry, rock photographer here on the A Game. Okay, so we're going to go from the dark side to the light side because some of the color photos, I think the one that popped the most, guys, number 9, pull that one up because I happen to be a fan of Snoop. And it's one of those, it's like the perfect highlight as he's just doing his thing. It's like, oh.
He's doing his thing. I was so high that night.
Mm-hmm.
I was so high, like being an audience.
Okay.
I mean, I was like, what's going on? I don't feel It was crazy. He had a good time, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. There are certain stories that the kids will never know. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Keep it at that, right? But the thing with Snoop is that somehow the catching of the light on that, I think that's what really made the photo. And it's one of those things where I'm sure as you're going through the photos and you sit there and say, okay, what makes one greater than the other? Sometimes, like, as you say, you're dabbling in the color thing a little bit more. And when that hit you, was that one of those you just knew right away, like, yeah, that's a really good photo?
Right, I mean, I know, like, most of the photos I know I'm going to turn to black and white, but when I, like, but some you just, I mean, like, I think I did that one. I do all of them in black and white, but then
Right.
that one just didn't look right to me.
Mhm.
Like, it just looked better in color, which is usually not, I never really find that that's the case in most of my photos, but that one,
Right.
I don't know, it just popped more.
Yeah.
It just seemed right. Yeah.
I mean, is it a hard process when you get in the room and you're developing? Is it a bit of a perfectionist that comes out of you and just kind of goes, if you see something slightly off, you're just like, nope, push that aside, not going to work.
Either that or I'll work on it for 2 hours and then decide, like, is it going to work or is it not? And I'll push the limit,
Right.
but I do, I am a little hard on myself, with the photos. Yeah.
I think that's everybody. If they're passionate about what they do, I think you're always going to be your own worst critic as you do it.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that's got to be hard too. As again, the website is EstelleMassry.com. Check out her work. And as they check it out, people could be blown away, and they're going to be. But yet you may sit back and kind of go, I could have done that maybe a little better. I could have done this. I could have done that. And you start to second guess yourself a little bit.
Always. I mean, I always think I can do better, but there comes a point to where you just have to be like, okay with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Good way. Guys, give me photo 12. This is another good color shot that I think that I liked. And I think it was Gavin Rossdale of Bush. There it is. And again, it was very subtle. That's the funny thing. Everything else is that same, as I'll say, Massry style. The backdrop is still black. It's dark.
It's still dark, yeah.
Right. And I think that has become your signature style. I think if people see an Estelle Massry photo, that's the thing they're going to notice right away. Whether there's color or not, the backdrop is always going to be black. It's going to bring out the highlights of the artist in whatever form that they're in, whether they're playing or singing, what have you.
Right.
And that's an art form. I really believe that great photography is an art form. And when it's done beautifully like you're doing, I mean, bravo to you for that, without a doubt.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's everyone has their own style, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can be shooting with 10 other photographers and we're in the same spot, and we'll have 10 completely different photos. Like you're shooting the exact same person, exact same time, and the end product is so completely different. Which, it's a beautiful thing.
I think it's interesting because I grew up 2 houses down from a guy who was a top flight photographer at one point, still is a great photographer, Louis Bloom. And Louis did some great shots of Springsteen back in the day. He's got a great resume of stuff as well. And he's got his own style. And you sit there and go, it's interesting where I'll look at him. I'll look in Jersey like Jeff Crespi, or I'll look at Danny Clinch. And I look at all 4 of you and I go, again, it's all very different interpretations. But yet I could pick out the difference and kind of go, that's Estelle, that's Jeff, and that's Louis. Because there's something unique about each style that comes out. I mean, do you find that with other photographers that you can sit there? Yeah.
Yeah. And who took the photo. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good stuff. And listen, anybody can go on the website and place an order or, get something right before the holidays in time. Could they not?
Yes, absolutely.
Very cool. Estelle Massry, I'm going to spell it for everybody. ESTELLEMASSRY.com. So this way you have it in your memory bank. We'll mention 1 or 2 more times. Estelle Massry's here on the A Game. Okay, this is where I get my shot and go. Time for the random shots, random segment. By the way, this is a Black Barrel from Jameson's. I figured it was appropriate.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
Martini.
Oh, there you go. What do you got, by the way?
Martini.
Ooh, you outdid me. But I got to admit, the whiskey sets up my first random shot question, and I go, guys, get me photo 14, please. Pop it up there. Would you mind? Yeah. Explain to me why peanut butter whiskey is such a great thing.
Why are you setting me up like this?
I got to do my homework. This is what I do. This is why I'm, I guess, good at what I do, or I'm kind of scary, kind of going, oh my God, he's a freak. He's knowing everything about me. Then again, you saw me with Matt and Aaron O'Ree, who, by the way, were on about a month and a half ago, and even they were like going, how does he know so much about us?
I know. I was sitting right there on the floor watching.
I know you were. That's why I'm sure you were even looking like going, you don't know him. How does he know so much about you?
Yeah, it was a little scary.
Hey, you know what? As the saying goes, if you're going to be good at your job, you got to do a little bit of a deep dive.
Yes, good.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Peanut butter whiskey. Why should I be getting this? Explain, please.
It's just good.
It's just good? Okay. I thought maybe there was more to it than that.
There's not much more. I think for Thanksgiving, my cousins always bring that, and we drink it, and then we stay up all night and get drunk, and stuff like that. But that is just good. It's just good stuff.
Sounds like a good time, actually. I like that.
But we didn't do that this Thanksgiving, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, it's definitely been a rough year. We will talk a little bit more about that a little later on. Okay, now that Christmas is coming up, who do you think is having more fun at Christmas, you or your kids?
My kids.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so. I'm having fun watching my kids have fun. So yeah.
And speaking of freaking you out even more, deep dive, photo 18, I think it is. This is a hell of a Christmas tree, and I'm sitting here going, I saw this and went, I want to be at this house at Christmas. Man,
yes,
look at that.
Yes, you do. My mom goes absolutely crazy. She goes crazy.
So this is, for your mom, I'm guessing, this is like her Super Bowl. This is like her big thing, like going, I want everybody here. There'll be gifts going down the hallway.
There are gifts going down the hallway. You have no idea. This is like half.
What? That's half?
Yeah, it's half.
To your mom. Hey, Mom, adopt me. Okay? Really.
You have no idea. Like, this is her thing. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's a big deal. Yeah.
No, I like that. No, I mean, my mom is Christmas Eve. That's like her thing. It's like she wants to have 40, 50 people. This year, not happening, and it's hard.
I know.
But I can understand. I think your mom's probably that same way where it's like, it's going to be killing her inside a little bit to know it's like, wait a minute, I'm not going to have my holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. But she still is. I mean, we're still, we're going down in 2 weeks, but and she'll do the exact same thing. Yeah. She's like so excited.
Good to hear.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
You kind of hinted at this question because I already wrote it down, and we just lost Estelle, but we'll get her back in just a minute or two. While Estelle's away, again, let me emphasize the website is EstelleMassry.com. If you want to get some of her great photos, and as a matter of fact, while we're waiting, guys, can you give me photo number 4 while we're waiting for Estelle to come back? If we can do that, that would be wonderful. That's Greta Van Fleet, who played the Stone Pony Summer Stage in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Again, her resume is just loaded with so many great artists, and not only in the world of rock and roll, but also, guys, take that down. Give me photo 16, please. She got a photograph of one of the men of James Bond. That's a great photo of Pierce Brosnan, by the way. And again, all this available at EstelleMassry.com. You can get the photos from her website. I'm still stalling here. Okay. Okay. Other than that, let's see. Guys, we can throw in a couple more photos. This way we can promote her website a little bit more.
Her photos are great. Hello, Rob.
If you're coming on here, we got problems.
She seems to.
You're clicking.
I'm clicking now. I know.
No.
I know. I was trying to help.
No. Okay. So now I'm by my lonesome. Okay. So with that being said, here comes Estelle back. Don't worry. I stalled long enough to show a couple more photos. We did good.
Okay.
I showed the Pierce Brosnan photo. I did that. So.
Oh, you did that one? Okay.
There we go. See, I showed that one. I wanted to show that, and I showed Greta Van Fleet. That's what you missed.
Okay. Yes. No, that one. Yeah. He's a very handsome man.
Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I was right over here.
Oh, shit.
Now, forgive me, Estelle, if you click out again. Okay, there you are. Okay, because you were kind of stalling there, so I'm hoping.
I'm sorry.
I see you. I don't know if I can hear you, but I can see you. So
you can hear
give
me?
it a shot. You kind of alerted to this talking about Metallica, so I think this is going to be the answer. You can go out on the road with one band for a whole summer just to take photographs. Who do you choose? Obviously, the way you were talking about Metallica, it might be them.
But can you hear me? You can't hear me.
You cannot hear. Oh.
You cannot hear me. Okay, wait.
Okay. All right. Do me a favor, Estelle. Click out, click back in. We're going to try this one more time.
I'm so sorry.
This is the interesting thing about technology, because when you least expect it to work, it doesn't work. It's a wonderful thing. It's not your fault, Estelle. I think you're going to have to log back out and log back in because you're kind of pixelated, and you're not coming in right. There we go. By the way, when these things happen, and they do happen, this is the one good thing about me doing radio. I've learned how to stall. Really well. And of course, Christian may pop back on just for the hell of it because he's looking for his 15 seconds of fame. He's already got his 15 seconds of fame. See, he's going to come on. See, what did I tell you? Now he's not going to.
Okay, Rob, can you hear me?
Okay,
You hear me?
We're having that clicking problem again. Welcome to a live podcast. Thank you very much. Try talking to Estelle. See what happens. Can you hear me?
No.
Not.
I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay,
yes.
But your voice is not coming through. That's the problem. Okay. Gentlemen in engineering, I ask you to fix this problem, please. Somebody say more. I mean, come on. I only had about 6 or 7 more minutes, and I could have wrapped this up. You know what, Estelle? I apologize. I'm going to ask you to click off again, and we'll try one more time, and I'll talk to the boys in the back and see what we can get fixed here. I know this is comedy at this point. Look at it this way.
No, you can't hear me.
No. I can hear you but you're clicking in and out. That's the problem.
Oh, well.
And now you're like, can you hear me?
You can't hear me at all? Nothing.
I can barely hear you. That's the problem.
Barely hear me. Okay.
So hold
all
on.
right. Hold on.
There's this clicking noise that is popping up, and I'm hoping that the guys in engineering, Ming and Christian, can fix this. You know what? I hate to ask you to kind of click in and click out again. I may down my shot at this point.
All right. Yeah. No, go. Do it.
Oh,
you need it.
Coming.
Can you hear me?
Please. Maybe.
Talk.
Oh.
Okay. You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it. While we still got the chance. The shot's going back down. Okay.
Right.
As I was saying, yeah, there you go. And you know what? I probably do need it. Okay. You kind of alerted to Metallica, so I think I know the answer to this. You could go out with one band on the road for the whole summer to be the photographer. Who would it be? I gather it's Metallica. Yeah.
Metallica. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think you kind of hinted at that earlier. And the funny thing is I had it written down ahead of time. So, okay. You did call Lenny Kravitz, by the way. And, guys, if I can have the Lenny photo up here, that would be number 5. Put that one up because I love the Lenny photo. Ooh. Big fan of Lenny. You called him on your Instagram account Rock God. You got a favorite song by Lenny Kravitz by any chance?
I love them all. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah. So, I've met a lot of rock stars, but I was starstruck with Lenny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what brought that on? Was just his aura, or you kind of got to sit down and talk with him and you kind of just went?
No, I mean, so I don't know. There's like something. I don't know. I got.
You're not the first person to say Lenny Kravitz has got something. All right.
I completely agree. Yes, I know this. But not only that, but like when he came off the stage, and like he was right in front of me, and like my friend and I were there, and we just kind of just stared at him. We're like. We were just being it was so silly. Like, all these celebrities, but we're just like, I don't know. It was there's something about Lenny. I don't know.
See, of all people you got starstruck by, I wouldn't have thought, I mean, I don't blame you on Lenny Kravitz, but I might have thought when I was putting Pierce Brosnan up, I would have thought if you're a Bond fan, maybe Brosnan.
Not at all. No.
Okay.
I mean, he's such a classy man.
Right.
But no, I wasn't really because he's very down to earth and he's very personable. I don't know. I mean, Lenny's like a rock star. Like,
no doubt. No doubt.
Star, and he doesn't have to try. He just like gets on stage and you're just, your knees buckle and you're just, you forget where you are.
Look, I will defend your point because I remember when he put the first album out, I got to see him in concert when he did I Built This Garden and Let Love Rule. And you're watching him perform and you're watching the band. His band's fantastic.
His band is fantastic. Yeah.
And you just see it's like going, okay, at that point, he wasn't the rock star yet, but you just kind of knew like, oh, yeah, this guy's got it. He's got that thing. And there's no question. It's obviously 2 thumbs up for if he comes around a concert again, go watch him. Go.
Yeah.
All right. I do know, and again, to freak you out even more, you were born in France, if I'm not mistaken?
I was, yes.
Okay. Give me something. Anything in French. Call me an ass. I don't care. Just say it in French. No French. You got nothing.
I got nothing.
I thought maybe you know something in French.
I know a lot. I'm fluent in French, but I
putting you on the spot is like going, no, I can't do that.
Like, I don't know. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, Rob.
Okay. All right. You're up. There's your one pass. Now, Last random shot. This is just, you can just wager a guess.
Okay.
And again, this is doing my homework. Within the 5, how many Facebook friends do you think we have in common?
Oh, gosh, like 150?
150? 150. Well, you're over, but 112. I was like, I saw that and went, I'm like going, wait a minute. I don't even know half these people. Hold it. What's going on? I think Estelle's going to look back into that night going, all right, do I know these people? Wait a minute.
I don't know half the people I'm friends with.
But you got fans. That's the good thing. You got people who appreciate your work.
Yeah.
Listen, as I'm about to wrap up, and I'm going to say this, that I did message Estelle on this, that I have her blessing to talk about this. So I don't want to think anybody's thinking that I'm just pulling this out of the blue. First off, how are you feeling? I know you did come down with the coronavirus. Some people get the asymptomatics, and so some people get it really badly. How bad was it, or how not so bad was it for you?
Oh, it was bad. It was 4 weeks of it was a nightmare. And then I don't know, like last week, I just all of a sudden just started feeling better. I mean, I think that's just what happens. But yeah, it wasn't fun. I mean, it was pretty bad. But you don't know you don't know how you're going to react to it. Like I have friends who tested positive and they were completely fine, right? No symptoms at all. I mean, I was in bed literally for like 3 weeks straight. Ouch. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't fun.
No. And, I mean, obviously, this is the best way of saying it is like going, if you're not taking it serious by now, here's living proof. Take it serious. Do what you got to do. So this way nobody else has to suffer. I'm glad you're feeling better above everything else.
So much, yeah.
Absolutely. And again, I gotta ask. The kids obviously were aware of it. And by the way, how old are your kids? But if you don't mind me asking,
10 and 12.
Oh, okay, they're old enough.
Yeah, they're old. Yeah.
I would imagine it's sort of like, don't worry, Mom, we got this. And that had to be at least somewhat of a comfort to kind of go, all right, my kids rock. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they do, though. They really do. Great kids, yeah.
Good stuff.
Great kids.
EstelleMassry.com. Go to the website, find a photo that you like, reach out to her, and she will send you a print. It would look great for the holidays. I've mentioned some of the great ones. There are some more out there, and they run the gamut from pop to rock to metal, and to some celebrities who don't even play music, as we showed with Pierce Brosnan. A lot of great stuff. My dear, I apologize for some of the technical glitches.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I mean, it's like we rolled with it, we got through it, and to freak you out even more, to show that I've done my homework. By the way, if you want to learn more about Estelle, this Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is Facebook Live with, if I got it correctly, Lee and Laura's Thursday night all request hour you will be on. So another chance to kind of, so you were using me to get ready for this podcast on Thursday. I see what you're doing. But in all seriousness, you would check her out on Thursday night at 7:30. It'll be on Facebook Live. And if you follow Estelle on Facebook, it'll be up on her page. So feel free to do that. Ms. Massry, have a great holiday. May 2021 bring you some better things for all of us.
Yes, and, you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you out. Here's a radical concert. I'll see you at a concert in 2021. Wouldn't that be nice?
Bigger. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice.
Absolutely. That's it for the A Game tonight. I'm Rob Akinpor. My thanks to Estelle Massry. Again, EstelleMassry.com. Visit the website. I'll be back on Wednesday night with actor Pino Radorati. You know him from This Is Us and the series SWAT on CBS. Looking forward to talking with him. Until next time, have a great week ahead. Enjoy your weekend, and peace be with you for this holiday season.